Thank you for viewing Catfish Weekly, episode 15. Today is April 13th, 2014. With us today is Lyle Stokes, Paul Ragsdale, Chris Wallace, a.k.a. Fudd, and myself, Chuck Davidson. Tonight we have on board with us Aaron Wheatley, the Tournament Director of Monsters of Ohio. First off, I'm going to hand it over to Paul so he can tell us about some free stuff that we have for some lucky viewers.
All right, I do know that we had a winner last week. We're not going to show those because they're emails only, but I wanted to show you guys something real quick that you need to do. I'm going to go do a screenshot here and go to the Catfish Weekly page. If you look at the page, it says subscribe to the blog via in your email. You put your email in there, send it off, and make sure you authorize it, and you'll receive every time we post something, plus it automatically enters you into the contest. So with that being said, I'm going to switch it back over to Chuck and let him go at it.
All right, Lyle, I'm going to pass it off to you. You got Aaron first. Let him have it.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Lyle. How about you, bud?
Not too bad, not too bad. I wanted to visit with you a little bit about some of the regulations that you guys are got going down in Kentucky on our catfish conservation stuff. I know you've made some progress. It might not have been what everybody wanted, but any progress at this point is good stuff.
You're absolutely correct there, Lyle. Process is process. Stepping forward is stepping forward. And that's what we've done here in Kentucky, I think. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, Frankfort, Kentucky, Ron Brooks, the head of the Fisheries Department for Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, will step to the testimony stand and defend his position on catfishing regulations in Kentucky waters. So it's going to be a very, very, very big day for not only Kentucky residents, but guys from all over the country that fish the Ohio River.
That's a good thing, and I know that he's trying to do the right stuff. I believe that he is. From what I know of Ron, he tries his best to do what the right thing is. And you're right. It doesn't just affect Kentucky. It affects any waterway that the Ohio River runs into. The Mississippi, the Missouri, all the tributaries are all affected by that because those fish travel so much, and people don't really understand that.
Yeah, that is true. I would love to see a major tagging campaign go on. I think that the catfish really does need a major, major study. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's just an absolute lack of information out there when it comes to the migrating patterns of these fish.
Oh, that's absolutely true. Now, I know Missouri's doing some studies this year from the Iowa line down below St. Louis on the Mississippi, and they're also doing another study on the Missouri River from where it comes into the state on the west to the confluence where it joins the Mississippi, and maybe we can get some regulations put in effect here on the rivers and not just the lakes, which is something that we desperately need to keep these guys from taking all these breeding size fish out of our water. And I know that's what you guys are striving for down there, and I'm hoping that he'll get something done and make a good statement tomorrow.
Yeah, Ron's got a lot of pressure on him. I wouldn't want his job. I feel like I have a lot of pressure on me, but I imagine you can multiply that by about 10 when it comes to Ron Brooks. And like I said, he's been standing up the whole time, and he's really took a position on this, and he's standing by his guns, and I don't think we could ask for more from a head of fisheries department, And when it comes to Missouri, I do a lot of looking on Facebook, looking on the internet. Man, the state of Missouri is really working hard on the blue cat population in their waters, and if every state works that hard, I think this would come to a head pretty quick.
Well, we've got a really good group that's working at the head of the fisheries department here. They're really doing an outstanding job. People don't understand the the amount of grief them guys catch from every direction, and these guys work really hard to do the right thing, and then you get two or three little clowns down south that think that they own the lakes and stuff, and they don't want the regulations that they know they need, trying to make it hard on these guys, but they are doing an outstanding job, and now if we can get some stuff passed on these rivers, that'll help us a great deal.
Yeah.
How about this tournament you have down there every year? I know we was down there last year, and the Monsters has turned into one of the premier catfish tournaments in the United States. And Cindy and I didn't make it the first 2 years, and we went down there last year, and it was just the greatest time. And if we wasn't able to fish, I think we'd probably just run down there just to hang out and have a good time. You guys have really put together an excellent show. And if you got any insight or special information or new stuff coming on, would you mind telling us about it a little bit?
Yeah, not a problem. You know, Monsters on the Ohio, the growth of that thing, man, has been amazing, man. It just tickles me to watch shows like your guys, or even on some TV shows. You know, I've seen people being taped about how they felt about Monsters on the Ohio, and all I hear is positive feedback. And as a tournament director, as a person, just me, I mean, that fuels my fire. And I love it, and I feel like I have a great respect amongst the catfishing community all across the country. And we do a real good job. It takes a lot of work. There's a whole lot more to run a catfishing tournament like mine than people could imagine. I got a great group of volunteers. I got an awesome list of sponsors. One thing that we have done this year already is we've already sat down with CR Boats, and we've already nailed down a 17-foot River Extreme Cat CR boat that will be given away just for fishing. I mean, you don't have to catch the biggest fish or a fish or win the tournament to win this boat. You show up, we put your name in the hat. At the end, we draw. Your name comes out. You're going home with a brand new CR. I got a contract right now in my computer from Academy Sports and Outdoors. They're a big sporting good place down south, and they actually contacted me and was like, look, we're getting ready to build a store in Owensboro, and we want to be a part of this Monsters on the Ohio. A couple other extra things we've done is Whisker Apparel and Monsters on the Ohio. We're going to pay out $500 just to the highest finishing male and female team. So come and fish, and if you finish at the highest as a male and female team, we're going to give you $500. So, you know, there's a lot. We got some new entertainment that's coming in. A gentleman by the name of Kyle Fields is going to be our entertainment this year. Of course, we'll have Ducks Unlimited back doing the casting contest and the archery contest with the kids. Steve Douglas is a big part of that. He sponsors all the giveaways that we give away with that. We'll have food vendors. We'll have inflatables. You know, it's a whole family-orientated thing, man. And Owensboro, Kentucky, I mean, where are you going to find a better riverfront anywhere in the United States, you know?
Well, you know, parking's good. The venue's good. The motels are good. The food is fabulous. And like I say, it's a very well-run tournament. I have to take my hat off to you. Been doing tournaments a long time. I've never been to one that's run any better than what you guys are doing down there. And it's absolutely a blast to be down there amongst everybody. And you was talking about the male-female $500 added. I'd seen that, and I just, you know, I'm hoping that Doc and Lynn will get to come down and fish that. And there's Julie Heisey and her husband, and I know that Janet and Vink will be there. And you know, I don't have to win the $500, but I sure would like to beat Janet. And you know, just if she loses, I think she ought to wear a Cardinal baseball cap.
And I don't know about that now, Lyle. Let's not get into that.
Janet's a good kid. She's a good sport. We have a lot of fun online talking about our baseball teams and stuff. And the river, I guess, is in pretty good shape right now down there by you?
Really, it's on a big drop right now. We had about 6 inches of rain, I don't know, about 10 days ago, and it shot that thing through the roof. What's so funny is I was looking on the internet, and they were projecting the chances of floods on the Ohio River this year, and it was like 25%, and then 5 days later, the mud's up at 43 feet, you know, so you never know about that Ohio River and that rain this time of year.
That's for sure. Well, listen, I don't want to take up the whole show. I'll let Chris ask you a few questions. Thanks again for being on with us tonight, Aaron.
Hey, Lyle, thank you, man. I really appreciate your opinion, man. It means a lot to me to hear things like that from guys like you that's been in the game so long, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
No problem, buddy. Chris?
Hey there, Aaron.
What is up, bud?
Pretty much I was going to ask you about with the regulations, that the stuff that's recently gone on, if Kentucky doesn't end up really getting together and getting in shape, I haven't heard on the recent, I know that there was some big meeting and stuff, vote that they were going to take place here recently, or it's going to happen here soon. Do you think there's ever going to be a shot where you might have to move the monsters on the Ohio and different body of water?
You know that I've been asked that question several times, and my answer is, if something's not done in the state of Kentucky, absolutely, monsters on the Ohio will be moving to protected waters. It's not what I want to do, but it's the right thing to do for my fishermen. Because to me, Bud, it's just kind of going against what I believe in when you're asking guys to come from 700 miles away to fish waters that don't believe in what we're trying to do here. It would be the last thing I would want to do, Bud, and I hope and pray that it does not come to that. But absolutely, Bud, if something's not done, we will be looking to move monsters on the Ohio.
Yeah, it's a situation where we have the waterway, because if people don't know, I myself, I'm in Indiana. Aaron there's in Kentucky. We both share the Ohio River. So it's a body of water that completely could sustain large trophy catfish. I mean, they're all the way, they come all the way from through the Mississippi up that stretch of river, and it by no means can it not sustain a large trophy fishery. But the problem with the commercial fishermen is that they're really just they're taking way too many of these fish out, especially during the wintering months. They come in and they put these nets where these fish gather up, and they could all gather up in one hole in a 5 or 10 mile or more stretch. And when these guys come in and they're targeting these large trophy fish to take them off to pay lakes, and not even pay lakes in Indiana and Kentucky, they're taking them in Ohio and everywhere else, and it's really killing the Ohio River. And that's what we're trying to do is educate everybody on what's going on, because not everybody understands what's happening. And with this body of water, and the sustainability of large trophy fish that it could do, there's no reason. I mean, right now, let's see, you've got one of the biggest catfish tournaments in the country on a body of water that's really being decimated by commercial fishermen. And if anybody could imagine, especially the state of Kentucky, how much money more and how much bigger of a tournament and more of those big tournaments could be held on that body of water, if those catfish were protected, it would be unheard of. The number of boats that you could possibly have at Monsters on the Ohio, and the amount of sponsors that it's really it's staggering to think about. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going on a lot on it, but it really is something that Aaron's passionate about. I'm passionate about. There's a lot of guys that are very passionate about it, and it's something that really, like he said, it's not. He wouldn't ever want to move Monsters on the Ohio, but Kentucky, Indiana, all the guys that are regulating that river really need to to work together and really start to make a change on that river before it's too late.
Yeah, you're right, Bud. You know, and I'm not just going to blame it on pay lakes or commercial
No.
fishing because, you know, just as well as I do, you see these pictures in these newspapers of these 80 and 90 pounders hung by ropes from trees, and you know, it's a little bit of everything, man. It all comes down to educating people and making people aware of the problem. You know, a lot of people just don't understand what's going on, and that's why we're pushing so hard for regs right now before this river cannot bounce back. You know, something needs to be done now. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. The I can't remember what else I had. I had something else for you, and it's not coming to mind. Oh, the United for Catfish. That's a project that myself, Aaron Wheatley, Lyle Stokes, Jeremy Gregg, Brad Kilpatrick, Matt Burlingham, many people. I know I'm forgetting a few guys, but there's many guys. What we're doing is we've got a project we're working on. It's called UnitedForCatfish.com. That's our domain we're going to be setting up our forums on. And basically the purpose of this forum is to unite the entire United States on catfish conservation, really spreading the word to everybody we can, getting everybody who catfishes to be a part of it, to help out in other states, not only their own, but if their state has got really good regulations, that's no reason not to jump in there and help the states who don't. You know, they need to jump in there and you know, if it's
You know, that's right. It's also good, you know, to have someone in your state that you can call that's pretty much on top of things, and I think that's pretty much, like you said, going to be all our job is to stay on top of what's going on in our state, and then share that with guys from other states. It takes a team, and not one state is, you know, it's like I tell people all the time, you know, Owensboro, Kentucky cannot change the catfishing laws in the state of Kentucky. We're just one town. We're just 4 representatives. We're just one state senator. It takes a body. And this, to me, is pretty much going to be a governing body that will come together with a bunch of guys that know what's going on and have true value of what's happening, and we can talk amongst each other and work from state to state together. Numbers is what we need, no doubt about it. We need numbers.
Yeah, that's definitely the main goal of the forum really is that information, the being able to have information at your fingertips. You know, whether it be the contact info of a state guy that you can talk to about what's going on, or you know what actually the regulations are in your area. That's going to be the go-to place, hopefully, that everybody is going to be able to get whatever information they need, or to give out information that needs to be given out. And right now there's nothing else like it. You know, you got Facebook, but it's really hard to find information that's been posted a while back or anything on Facebook.
Yeah, we definitely need a place to come together. You know, we started the Ohio Valley Catfishing Federation a couple years ago, but it seems like, you know, as soon as you start posting stuff or putting stuff on there, you know, people just kind of disappear, man. And it's hard to stay on top, and it's hard to stay involved. And guys need to figure out, man, they need to get involved. You know, time to stand back and just watch and see what's going on. That time's over, because only we can help make the changes. And if we don't say anything, nothing's going to happen.
No, it's definitely you need to be a little proactive right now. And people have been sitting on their hands for a long time and hoping that everything's just going to work out, and unfortunately it just won't happen that way. You really got to get in there and do a little bit, and sometimes it isn't, you know, it isn't hard to help out. You can help out in many different ways in something like this, like I was talking about a little bit earlier. You know, not even necessarily monetary support. If you don't got a lot of money, you can show up to meetings. You can, you know, you can send in emails. There's things that we're going to have on that site for people to be able to do, to help out in many different ways. So that if you're passionate about catfishing, you really should be helping out in some way, even if it's not your state.
Hey Fudd, can you tell everybody how they can contribute to the Kickstart and how important it is that what the funds are going to and all that stuff?
Yeah, right now we have a Kickstarter campaign. Basically, the Kickstarter campaign was created to buy the software for a paid version of a forum that might be a little more secure and have some more features and things like that. It's going to pay for a theme, some modules or add-ons that we might need to get it up and going. And then beyond that, pretty much it's going to go into our general fundraising fund that will be used, however later on we determine, as the leaders get together, they'll vote on what money needs to be spent where, and everything will be kept track of. But we're really going to need a lot of money in the long term, and I mean, we're probably going to have a lot of different strategies and things that we do later in the future set up to raise money with different organizations possibly donating percentages of sales of certain items or whatnot. I mean, we have a lot of things that we'll discuss and bring out in the future. But right now, the Kickstarter campaign, it's there's a link that I'll put in the live video on catfishweekly.com. I'll put a link to the Kickstarter campaign where you can donate. Right now, I know you can donate anywhere from $10 all the way up to $100. What that gets you, if you donate, is a founder's badge on the forum that shows that you are a founding member. You helped get the Kickstarter campaign and get the UnitedForCatfish.com site set up and funded it from the very beginning. So it'll be a special little badge. It'll definitely make you stand out on the forum. Plus, you'll get the good of peace of mind of knowing that you helped out. What we need to do here. So I think that's about it for the Kickstarter and the United for Catfish.
That's some good stuff. All right, Aaron, I got a few things for you. When all the guys are out, blasting off at the tournament and everything, how do you feel not being to be out there and fishing with all the guys and seeing them all going off to have fun and catch some big fish? Does that really make you wish you was out there?
Yeah, that's tough, man. It is tough because these are my waters, and I spend a lot of time out there fishing these waters, and I like to fish against the best, man. That if you ain't fishing against the best, you ain't fishing the way I see it. It's just I'm a very competitive person. I played ball in high school. I played very high competitive league softball for 20 years. I'm very competitive, Chuck, and yes, it does suck, man.
I bet it does. I wouldn't be able to stand it. What's your personal size, your personal best blue on the Ohio River?
75 pounds.
Okay. What's the state record now? 104.
104, caught right below Cannleton Dam, which is in the Newburgh Pool, which is where Monsters on the Ohio launches out of.
Okay. Do you think there's any fish like that left in there, or do you think that
they're not, because those fish are pretty smart and they've seen nets and they've seen gill nets for years. I believe there's fish out there like that. I've been spooled before. And I believe that was a pretty big fish that done that, because I fought a plenty of big fish. And I've had guys tell me, even just for example, Jason Bridges, we all know Jason Bridges. He came up a couple years ago, and he told me that he probably had the biggest fish on he's ever had right here in this pool. So yeah, they're out there. Are they in big numbers like they were? No. But there's still some big ones out there.
Have you seen yourself seen a decrease in commercial fishermen activity in your area, or does it look like to you that they've already started moving on to other places? Well, really and truly, I know of one guy that fishes my pool, but now when they drop this 4 over 40 from Cannleton down, we'll see what happens.
the one good thing about this end of the river is, you've probably heard it several times, the Mississippi, the Tennessee, the Cumberland, the Wabash, the Green, they all dump in below Cannleton Dam. That's why, to me, it's easier for those fish to replenish, but when you get above Cannleton, you don't have very many major rivers running into the Ohio all the way up to West Virginia. And that's why I think you see such a drastic change in what's going on that way, is because you don't have major rivers to replenish these big catfish that are getting taken out.
Hey, Aaron, we got a question on Catfish Weekly. He says, it's from Jason Malone. He says, how many hours a year do you think you dedicate to monsters on the Ohio tournament?
Roughly, probably right off the top of my head, at least 400. At least an hour a day, every day.
Yeah. All right, yeah, you can go back there, Chuck. I don't see any other questions right yet.
Do you see any reason why you can't participate in the tournament? I mean, is there so much going on that the guys that you have helping out and everything, you wouldn't be able to participate in it?
Well, I'm really a one-man show, Chuck. I kind of like it that way, man. I'm on top of everything. I'm the only one that's on top of everything, and it's not because I don't want to give that responsibility to people, but I trust myself, and I'm a catfisherman, and a lot of my help, they're from the church or from my town. They really don't know anything about catfishing, but they know a lot about monsters on the Ohio, and in order to have something continue to be as good as Monsters is, I think that's a one-man responsibility. I just really do. That's, if anything goes wrong, you can blame it on Aaron Wheatley. I get a lot of credit from a lot of guys, so if something went wrong, I would have to be willing to take the backfire from it,
Oh, yeah, I know you hate not being able to go out and all, so, maybe when some of these other tournaments come to town, you're able to, get out there and have you some fun, because you really work hard on this stuff, and I know it's got to be really tough on you not being able to go out during this thing, so I heard you do a great job, and I can't wait to be there in 6 months.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell Lyle. Chuck and his wife will be up here trying to get that $500 too, I do believe.
Hey, you never know. Me and my wife might be down there this year too.
There you go. But yeah, the Sea Arts here in Owensboro, the Big Cat Quest here in Owensboro. I'll be fishing both those tournaments. I'll fish with the brothers out of Henderson. I'll go up and fish some ICA tournaments up in Leavenworth. I plan on coming down to Wheeler. I think the Big Cat Quest has a tournament on Wheeler this year. I don't fish a whole lot of tournaments. I like fishing with bigger tournaments. I want the competition level about as high as it can be. I mean, that's just the way I am.
Aaron, we have a couple more questions on Catfish Weekly. Scott Wiseman asked, is there a cap on the number of boats for Monsters?
Right now, this year, it looks like that may be possible. You guys that have been to Monsters, you see we're just about running out of room. We had 125 boats last year. Now, we do have another boat ramp in Owensboro that was owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. Now they're trying to get it to the county, where it does look like my county is going to take that boat ramp back and get it in shape. So I would say for this year, about 135 boats is all we're going to be able to handle because I'm never going to go to trailering. The thought of everybody leaving from one spot, if you're standing up on them steps after the girl sings the national anthem and you look across that river, it's amazing to see that many boats in one place at one time, man, and I love it.
And one of the things that I've always said, and the feeling that I get when coming back to the Monsters on the Ohio, and you see that wall of people sitting there on them bleachers and looking at you and watching you come in, that it really has a grand feeling to it. There ain't any other tournament that has that, and it really adds to it for me as a fisherman.
Yeah, and that's one of the key things we hit on, man. You know, that's why we give $2,000-$3,000 of stuff away to the crowd. That's why we bring in entertainment. That's why we bring in Ducks Unlimited and Food Vendors and Kentucky Outdoor, the magazine, and Champion Ford and Ride Implement. I mean, I don't know how many tournaments you can go to and buy you a new truck, get you a camper, learn how to shoot an archery, grab you a hamburger, and win you some free stuff all day long and get some live entertainment. You know, that's the reason I do all that, is to get that crowd down there, man, because I know from my sports background, there's nothing like when that crowd gets up and starts hooting and hollering, and it makes everything you do worth it.
Okay, I've got about 4 more questions for you.
Okay.
Let me see here. Next question I had was from Rustin Flag. It says, has there been any word? Hang on a sec. I've got everybody doing what I asked them to do right now. Has there been any word on the DNR sampling from the Monsters Tournament weigh-in?
Yeah, I mean, that was all part of the. In October, we had a big meeting in Princeton, Kentucky, and Ron Brooks went over the part of that was all part of the study. And of course, you know, if you've heard anything on this, after they finished their 1-year study, and they used tournament weigh-ins, and they used trout line results from years past, they decided that there's a major issue from Hamilton up. That's why they're going to do the 1 over 35. And there's also an issue from Hamilton down. That's why they're going to do the 4 over 40. Now, us as a whole, as catfishermen that fish the Ohio River, the 4 over 40 to us is a bit ridiculous. That is the most lenient regulation that would be in place anywhere in the United States. But it, you know, like we said in the beginning, when you go to a meeting like that, the goal of the people that are running that meeting is for everybody to leave mad. And they pretty much, with the regs they're going to put in, they pretty much did that. Everybody left mad. Now, they are going to continue to study for 5 years after this reg is in place. And then we'll go back to the drawing board. And hopefully in 5 years, we can continue to grow our sport. We can continue to educate people. And our goal is to have the catfish as sports fish. And I think that should be the goal for every state.
All right, give me 1 second. And the next question we had was from Adam Winder. Do you feel the state flathead will ever be beat if the laws change for catfish?
You know, I really don't target flatheads much. I see them caught quite often. A couple of years ago at Monsters, I think there was five flatheads brought in over 40 pounds. I do believe that the flathead state record in Kentucky is like 96 pounds, and that's actually out of the Green River, which is one of the tributaries that run into the Ohio. I've never seen anything close to that. So, you know, I can't say for sure that it would, but I can't say for sure that it wouldn't, because anything is possible. I guarantee you that if the legs are put in, that it will definitely help the trophy cat flathead population also, because we all know that the hoot net really scarfed the flatheads. There's been a lot of flatheads taken out of Kentucky waters over the last 10 years, and definitely it hurts the population of the trophy flathead just as bad as the blue cat.
All right, the next question we have from Robert Tallman says that he says that there's a lot of folks in his state that are wanting him to start a catfish tournament. Do you have any suggestions you can give the guys if they want to pursue it more on starting a trail?
You know, I kind of just I knew Owensboro was spending $300 million on the riverfront, and I was kind of new to catfishing. Really, I've only been hard catfishing for about 10 years, and I thought, well, you know, I've met a lot of these guys, and they're great people, and I know they want this sport to grow, and what can I do to get a big tournament going? So basically what I did is I started with the Tourism Commission here in Davis County, and luckily one of the guys that are part of that board I played softball with for years, and I brought my presentation to him, and he was like, man, that sounds good. Do you really believe? And I told him, I said, within 5 years, I think we could have 100 boats. And he said, do you really believe that? And I was like, yeah, there's 300 or 400 guys out there minimum doing what I do. I said, I believe that. So I got them involved, and then the city, they brought in a new guy to run all the events, and his name was Tim Ross. Well, I sat down with Tim Ross, and we talked about what I was trying to do, and he got involved. And then once I got my tourism commission and my city involved, I reached out to local sponsors. Well, being a guy that plays sports all the time and being a guy that works for the Catholic Church, I know a lot of people, and a lot of my local owned businesses said, oh man, yeah, definitely, man, let's bring something different to Owensboro than just a baseball or softball tournament. And then I reached out to a couple of national sponsors, Steve Douglas from Monster Rod Holders and the BOC, the USTA, were a few of the bigger national sponsors that I had the first year. Now, you got to remember, the first year we only had 28 boats. So over 4 years, we went from 28 boats to 125 boats. And, of course, the more boats you get in there, the more you're going to get people willing to give you stuff to give away or help you pay the bills. But like I said, I would start with members of my city, the city commission, and the tourism commission. That's where you want to start at.
All right. Real quick, Chuck, I'm going to go ahead and do the Team Catfish Dead Red giveaway for our live viewers. I'm going to do a screen share here, so hopefully you guys can see what's going on with me here. All right, on my screen share, you see on random.org all the people that I had say aye in the chat to let me know they were there or in here. I'm going to do what Paul does. I'm going to randomize this 3 times. Actually, I'm going to change it just to be different from Paul. Who wants to begin? We're going to go 4 times. 4 times. On the 4th time, whoever's number 1 on the list is going to win 2 bottles of Dead Red from Team Catfish. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Scott Wiseman. Scott Wiseman is our Dead Red winner. We're going to send him out 2 bottles of Dead Red.
Yippers. 2 bottles.
So, here we go.
Don't try to snort something none of this either, because it ain't worth a snot. Burns your nose. Don't ask me, I know that.
Hey, Aaron?
Yeah.
Jason Mathena wants to know if you're going to get any shirts in that fit real men. Jeff Dodds also wants to know about that.
You tell them 2 boys to show up, and if I have to, I'll go wherever I got to go to get the shirt to pick them 2 big old muscle heads.
Well, Jason seems to think his wife's got enough nightgowns.
Jason Matheny just got him a pretty nice boat, I think.
Yes, he did. It's a beautiful boat. I can't wait to lay my hands on it and see it in person.
That's right. That's right.
You know, if anybody ever needed it or deserved it any more than Jason and him and his mom Vicky, the way they fish and stuff, those 2 are great people, and I'm glad that he got him a new boat and all that. And when it comes to fishing, they're about as tough as they come.
Yep, they're good. They're really good people, man, and they really enjoy monsters on the Ohio. And
yes,
that's
they
my kind of people right there.
Yeah, they're good people. I had the pleasure of having them up here last week. Him and Vicky was up visiting with me at the shop for a few hours, and we had a great time. And we talked about his new boat and fishing rods, and your name come up and the Monsters of Ohio and other things. But they're just outstanding folks, and them and Adam will be tough to deal with down there this year as they always are.
Yep. Adam Linder, he spends plenty of time on that water. Don't let him fool you, folks. He's out there just as much as anybody I know.
Well, now, I've seen something online today I meant to ask you about, and I actually forgot about it. So while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and ask you about it. You have a friend a mutual friend with me down there. His name is John Harden, and you guys are really on each other all the time. You guys must be pretty good buddies.
Yeah, well, me and John Harden are really good friends. John Harden is the kind of guy that would do anything for anybody. And I just love joshing him. It's fun. He's fun to mess with. He can take it pretty good most of the time. And I'm just a jokester, man. I treat all my friends the same way, and some of them like me for it, and some of them don't, man. But I love to have fun. I love to mess with people, and I expect them to do the same to me, man. I mean, I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm catfishing, and you couldn't ask for it to be any better.
Well, I know John was really good to me when we was down there last year. You know, he helped me with anything I needed help on, and offered any assistance that I needed. He had information that helped Cindy and I find things that we may have struggled to find out, you know, any other way. But, you know, I know he's a good guy. The only thing that I can see wrong with him is he just fishes for too many of them green carp.
Yeah, he's a multi-species fisherman, you know, that's what he says. And actually, you know, John was a catfisherman for a long time with his dad. And then his dad passed away. And he came off the river and he stopped catfishing, and I kind of got him out on the boat and hooked him into a 50-pounder, and he was kind of ruined since then, and now he's out there doing his thing, you know, doing his thing.
Yeah, he's just a great guy, but there's, you know, everybody down there that we was around was like that, so, but I just wanted to give you a little hard time about John's. I know you and him are good friends.
Yeah, he takes it. I mean, he'll talk to me the next day. He may not be too happy about it, but he'll talk to me.
Back to you, Chuck.
All right. Does anybody else got anything they need to ask Aaron?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Like, Aaron? What do you do, or have you been trying to get new people into the tournament fishing? A lot of new guys kind of had the idea that they could never beat a guy that's out on the tournaments all the time. Do you and the organization try to pull in new tournament fishermen?
Oh yeah, all the time, man. I mean, I spend a lot of time taking people out right here around Owensboro that's never been on the water, and you would be surprised about how many guys will go out with me a couple times, and the next thing you know, they got their own boat, they got their own fish finder, you know, they went and bought them a truck, and now they're catfishing, man. And it's just, you know, if more guys would take time out to take the average Joe out there that don't know anything about our sport, and let them hook into one of them boys one time, rip and drag, and your arms start shaking, and your legs start shaking, man. Once that happens to them, they're pretty much like I was. They're running, man. That's all they want to do. So definitely, you know, take somebody out that's never been there before, you know, and let them enjoy what we do, because it's like I tell all my friends, you know, I play basketball, I play baseball, I play football, I play softball. I hit the game-winning basket, scored the game-winning touchdown, hit the home run, and catching that big 50-pound fish is the same adrenaline rush that you get when you do that, but it lasts longer, and you can't beat that.
Right. Yeah, like Lyle with me, you know, took the talk approach instead of the insult approach, and that seems to work the best. So.
Right. And guys are starving for information. If you just share little things with them, you know, it means a lot to them.
Right.
You know, just like your show, you know, I mean, you know, you have the Massengales on, and you have Jeff Dodd on, and Brent Riddle, and you're talking about some of the best catfishermen in this country to come on your show and tell you, you know, I remember the Massengales talking about, you know, what do you do when you go to a different part of water? You know, how do you find fish? And like they said, just use what you know. And a lot of guys, you know, like, they'll get out there and say I go to Alabama. When I first started going down there, I had no idea what to do because I was thinking too much. But then I started looking for the same things I do on the Ohio River, and I started finding fish in Alabama. And on the Potomac River, on the James River, the Mississippi River, it don't matter where you go. Take what you know and use it. And your show does a great job of putting people on here that know how to catch these fish because they see them winning tournaments all the time.
Right. All right, Chuck. That's pretty well all I had.
Okay. You got any closing statements, Lyle?
Yeah, I'd like to go over some of the stuff that we've got coming up if we're ready. We have a tournament April 19th. Twisted Cat Outdoors is holding a tournament in Maridosia, Illinois on the Illinois River. All of our tournaments start at 7 in the morning and end at 3. $100 entry fee. Should be a good show over there. It's a small town. The community really needs the people to come over there and support their little town. So I think we'll have a really good tournament there. May 24th, Nauvoo, Illinois. Be on the Mississippi River. Be fishing north of the Keokuk Dam. Basically, will be a channel cat tournament. We have a lot of interest in this. The city's kicking in a little extra money, and we're going to have a good time up there. I think it'll be a really good tournament for people, to local people especially, that knows where them channel cats are. May 31st, Burlington, Iowa, Calvin Meyer Benefit Tournament. Anybody that has a chance or an opportunity to show up to this, we have got just so many prizes going to be at this thing for people who just come out of the woodwork to donate stuff. Tangle of Catfish has donated 4 rods. A lot of the local companies have kicked in. Whiskerware Apparel's kicked in some stuff. I've got boxes and boxes of things sitting here in my room where I work that people have sent stuff down, and this stuff is going to be raffled or auctioned or something. It'd be a 50% payout. 50% going to help Calvin and Annie with their expense of traveling back and forth from north of Quincy, Illinois to St. Louis to down to Barnes Jewish Hospital where he's being treated, and Calvin's really doing well down there, but he's going to be off work a long time, and this is for one of the best causes that I can think of. So if you get a chance to come out and fish that tournament, we'd love to see you there. June 14th, Jack and Jill Tournament, LaGrange, Missouri, guaranteed $3,000 first place. I look for there to be enough participation for that to grow considerably. We'll just see how it turns out. We have entries coming in every day. This is sponsored by Mark Twain Casino. We also have a car dealership that kicked in some money for us. We're going to be accepting all takers on this, so anybody that's interested in doing any sponsoring, we'll be glad to have them, but you must have 1 man and 1 woman in the boat. Entry fee on this is also $100, 7 to 3 tournament. There'll be a barbecue and a captain's meeting with a bunch of free t-shirts and hats and different stuff Friday night before the tournament. So if you get a chance, June 14th, and you can send early entries into any of these tournaments, just get online and get my address and send them in. Thank you, Aaron, for being on the show. We really appreciate it, and thank you for everything you do with Monsters of the Ohio. You've made it one of the best tournaments, and we go all over, so I know that for a fact that it's one of the best tournaments run anywhere in the United States.
Thank you for that, Lyle. I appreciate it.
All right, Chris, you got any closing statements?
I have a ton of stuff. So, again, I will say, Aaron, ever since the first time I've met you, you were a very, very friendly guy. I'm glad to call you a friend. I think you're doing great things with the conservation efforts, with the Monsters on the Ohio tournament that you're running. I think that I wish there was more guys like you. I really do. I think that you're a dying breed in yourself. So again, I appreciate everything you do, and I thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, Bud, thank you, sir. Like I said, I remember the first time we met at the Kentucky Fried Chicken up in Carrollton, Kentucky, I do believe we were fishing against each other in the Ironman, and I've kept my eye on what you've been doing, dude, and I'm proud of what you've done, and you're good for our sport, and you know, the compliments are right back at you, bud.
Besides that, if everybody didn't notice, oh, hang on a second. I ain't that tall, but I'm tall enough to rip this out of my ear. But anyway, New Jersey came in. This is what I'll be looking like if you see me at a tournament. I'll be in the black and yellow, maybe with that song on the radio. Black and yellow, black and yellow.
That
But
came with the inflatable thing around your waist.
that's not funny. That's not funny. All right, it's a little funny, but all right. That was good. Some of the Catfish Weekly sponsors that I want to thank, Team Catfish for donating the Dead Red to us this month. Team Catfish, they have much more than the blood spray on their website. If you go take a look, you'll see tons of products on there. Everything they sell is quality, so I'd recommend anything they have on there. And I've used most of it, in all honesty. So, also on the website itself, Black Horse Custom Rods, of course, Lyle Stokes. I fish with his rods, great rods, best rods I've ever used. So, Indiana Hunter, that would be my buddy Heath Malone, Jason Malone. Them guys, they're filming for fishing and trying to get some good film this year for some fishing, some catfishing, and they're also going to have some good film on hunting as well. So, click on that link on the side, and then hopefully we get some more people that want to sponsor on the website. Just get a hold of us, and you'll see right on our website where you can contact us, and we'll get you on there. I do also want to mention that, we've talked a lot about tournament catfishing lately. The show isn't going to be all about tournament catfishing. We're going to have, some good information for the regular guys that aren't out there tournament fishing to go out on their lakes and catch some channel cats and things like that. We're gonna be here to help everybody out and get good information out there. The ICA has a tournament at Morse Reservoir this next Saturday, the 19th. You probably want to be there about 7 o'clock in the morning. That's a $60 entry fee, $25 membership fee, and a $15 ramp fee at Morse. So a little more expensive if you're not a member for that one, but show up and it'll be a good tournament. Last year there was a nice 15, 16 pound channel cat, which is not a bad channel for Indiana. I'm not going to explain FUD in a tub. Maybe next time. What I was thinking about doing though is with myself and Lyle and possibly Chuck mentioning all these tournaments every week. I was thinking I'll probably add a tournaments section on our links over on the side that we can update our upcoming tournaments, so we can add a little information there and people can click on that and see what tournaments we're talking about. The Kickstarter, again, I'm going to put the link for our Kickstarter campaign for United for Catfish up on this Watch Us Live page of catfishweekly.com. And the final thing, as I state every single episode, even though all of us on the show have our individual sponsors, the show itself is not sponsored by any one particular company. Any guests or whatever should feel free to come on no matter who your sponsors are. We're not political in any way on that. We're just here to help the sport of catfishing. So,
as well as the advertising on the page.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, anybody can advertise on the page. It doesn't matter. So, if you're interested, get with us. $30 for 3 months, $50 for 6 months, and we'll put your ad up on there. That's the pricing for it. So, same price for everybody. First come, first serve on the spot that you want. So, I think I'm good.
All right, Paul, what do you got?
I don't really have a whole lot. Just want to thank Aaron for coming on. I know we've had him on here for a while, but I appreciate him taking the time to explain some things and talk about it, and I appreciate it. I'm not sure who's the, I know, well, yeah, we got to let him say his piece too, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got.
Don't forget that next week we'll be talking fishing methods with Brad Kilpatrick out of Kansas City Catfish. Brad will make a good show. He's a great guy. Runs a really nice tournament series over in western Missouri and eastern Nebraska and Kansas. Be a good show, so y'all make sure you tune in for that.
Oh, and hey, if everybody wants to know why Lyle looks so good tonight because he's not herky jerky, it's because I told him to get the camera that I got, and he did it. So
Looks a lot better than the old one did.
I do. You always thought I looked good anyhow.
I don't know, the still frame slow motion, it might have been better.
Well, we're having a good time regardless, and I'm glad everybody's watching the show. So it makes, when we get a lot of viewers watching it and people watching it throughout the week, it justifies what we do.
Oh yeah, this is the the Catfisherman's show. This just isn't our four guys show. We need to hear opinions. If anybody wants to hear certain topics or would like to see certain people come on, just shoot us an email or a message. We'll see if we can get what the the catfishers want on here. We're not here to try to teach anybody anything, because we're not the superb catfishermen ourselves. We just like getting on here talking catfishermen and getting some people on here that know their stuff. So I want to thank Aaron for being on. It's it's been good, and I can't wait 6 months from now to get there and have a good time and fish your tournament. It's going to be a really good time, and I just can't wait.
All right, Aaron, we're going to let you close it out.
All right, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on the show. Got much respect for all you guys. I'm going to throw some names out here at you real quick, and I'll let you know the reason why. First of all, from the fisheries department here in the state of Kentucky, I want to thank Ron Brooks for his diligent work with this hard situation here in Kentucky, and the commissioners at Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. I also want to thank Representative Tommy Thompson, State Senator Joe Bowen, State Senator Dennis Perry, Representative David Floyd, and Representative Jim DeCesaris, all from the state of Kentucky, that have been with us in this fight the whole way. I want to thank Steve Baker and Cougar Mellencamp from 102.7 The Game, ESPN Radio, that has done tons of work with me on the radio. I want to thank Al Mattingly Jr., Jared Bratcher, Tim Ross, Amanda Rogers, and Bob Glenn. They're all important parts of my city here in Owensboro. I want to thank CR Boats, and Robin and those guys at CR for everything they've done. Steve Henderson, Rachel, we've got a pretty good relationship going on. I also want to thank Jim Tyler from Tyler Boats. He's been a big part of this. I want to thank the Ohio Hills Catfishing Club, the Potomac River Monster Catters, the ICA, the Twisted Cat Group, the group, Brad Kansas City Cat Group. Man, y'all are all a part of this. I appreciate so much what you do for me. I see Monsters on the Ohio on lots of people's websites, and I just really appreciate the support from the catfishing community, man. And I'm so glad that I decided to pick up a rod and reel instead of a golf club. And I'll leave you with that.
All right, until next time, keep them tight.